Hey everyone, time for another Channel Partners Fast Chat. I'm Craig Galbraith, Executive Editor with Channel Partners. Really excited to have with me Michael Zadosky. Michael is the Senior Director of National Partner Programs with Comcast Business. Michael, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, Greg. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to have you here. And excited to talk a little bit about Ethernet over HFC today and learn something about that. So why don't you start by telling us what is Ethernet over HFC? How is it different from both residential Comcast internet and fiber Ethernet services?
Craig, that's a great question. Appreciate you asking. It's kind of a hybrid product in between the two. So a lot of folks are familiar with the coax product that comes to the house, and you've seen the coax cable has high availability, meaning that that coax plant is located throughout the entire footprint of Comcast. And it has that particular product has, an asymmetrical bandwidth. It's built for residential usage of a high download speed, but it's also a shared median, meaning that you're sharing that bandwidth with your neighbors. The Ethernet fiber product is the exact opposite of that, right? That's a carrier grade service, symmetrical bandwidth. Comcast will build the fiber all the way to the customer's premise and into, in fact, all the way up into the suite of the customer. And that symmetrical bandwidth can go up to 10 gigs or more. It has an SLA. It has, static IP. It has multiple network configurations. So the Ethernet over hybrid fiber coax is the hybrid of that particular product, right? We created a carrier grade product. It rides over top of that coax plant, so it's readily available throughout the entire footprint. It's very easy to get it. Symmetrical speeds up to 20 megs with a static IP, an SLA, mean time to repair, has a lot of things that you would want from a business class perspective, and it's a true carrier grade service.
Interesting stuff. So what are some of the customer use cases you're seeing for Ethernet over HFC?
That's a great question as well. It started out, that service was really replacing MPLS networks with T1, the bonded T1 with 1.5 meg or increments of that, with more and more bandwidth being utilized for applications over a network, really wasn't great. So since Ethernet over HFC was able to provide more bandwidth in those scenarios, we really saw it initially take off replacing or adding to MPLS networks. Subsequently, it kind of moved into large, maybe like a medical facility or hospital complex. They've got, the hospitals that have the carrier big fat Ethernet pipes, a data center that's connected, but then they might have some surgical centers that don't need quite as much bandwidth. And then they have remote locations as well. And those remote locations had trouble getting consistent, reliable carrier grade Ethernet. So what we were able to do utilizing that coax plant is bring that product into those small locations at a cost-effective price, do it in kind of a network scenario so they could have point-to-point or either an Ethernet network service solution, and we could tie the very largest locations together with the smaller locations. So in that large to small scale of things, it's been really great. But what we've seen recently is really with this work from home, the adoption of this product has increased significantly. If you think about utilizing your home network for certain things, you might have confidentiality or you need some security or some of that other stuff, and it's just not necessarily available or reliable on the residential products. So what we've seen a lot of lately is call centers all combined into like one location, and all of a sudden the workforce had to be dispersed to a work from home environment. But the VoIP phones don't work, the screen pops don't work, and things like that. So having the ability to provide Ethernet at the home and provide a secure direct connection back to the headquarters in either an EDI type scenario or in an EVPL or something that goes back to the customer prem, it's really kind of a VLAN extension off of the LAN, and it really has solved a lot of problems. And customers that are utilizing that product might not bring that workforce back into that particular scenario, right? It's working so well from an Ethernet at home perspective that a lot of these customers might use it for a long period of time.
Yeah, absolutely. So how does the Comcast Solution Provider Program support partners in selling this?
We have a lot of great resources. Number one, we've got a magnificent marketing team that provides not only training and videos and information and sales sheets and the ability to utilize some co-branded material in order for our business partners to go out there and market this particular product and market their business with the brand of Comcast behind it. But we have a localized partner sales manager, and that team is able to work on solutions with you. And then when you get into the larger multi-location customer scenario, we provide sales engineering staff as well that not only can work with the partner to help train them, but also work with the customer on the specific solution in order to make sure it's designed appropriately with the right bandwidth and the right design for that particular customer.
Some cool stuff. Mike, anything about Ethernet over HFC maybe I didn't ask you want to share?
It's a great product. It's solving a lot of problems, for partners and customer base right now. The world's changed quite significantly over the past couple of months, where in a more dispersed work environment with many more people working from home, this is a carrier grade reliable service with a service level agreement that's price effective for an organization to put many different connections in place. So we're really looking forward to rolling out this to the partner community and making sure that they understand how it works, and look forward to a much wider adoption of the product out there in the marketplace.
Michael Z from Comcast Business. Mike, thanks for joining us on this Channel Partners Fast Chat.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.